generosity has its limits, and thank goodness for that. Because if she were only about peace and love, the world would be denied one of its great pleasures. Watching Arundhati Roy wage a bloody war of words against U.S. President George W. Bush. He says, "You are either with us or you are with the terrorists." She says that we don't have to choose between a malevolent Mickey Mouse and the mad mullahs. He says we're a peaceful nation. She says pigs are horses, girls are boys, war is peace. He says the invasion of Iraq was right and just because we caught Saddam Hussein. She says that's like deifying Jack the Ripper for disemboweling the Boston Strangler. I don't know how Arundhati comes up with these killer one-liners, but I'm grateful. Each one is a gift, capable of transforming fear and confusion into courage and conviction. In Roy's hands, words are weapons, weapons of mass movements. But Roy's essays and speeches are not propaganda. Quite the opposite. They are attempts to name our world as it is, exactly, precisely, perfectly. It is for this reason that I sometimes fear that Arundhati will be driven mad by George Bush and the violence he inflicts on the English language. Recently, Roy wrote that she imagined Noam Chomsky watching an American cable news show with an amused, chipped-toothed smile. I imagine Roy watching that same program with a great roll of tape, picking up the words George Bush has ruthlessly severed from their meanings. Peace, evil, war, democracy, truth, good, innocent, justice, and carefully, urgently taping them back together again. The conversations in this book span 3 years, a period in which Roy invented a new way to be a political activist, not only in India, where she lives, but also in the heart of empire itself, the United States. As Roy tells David Barsamian, it is usually white people who travel south to tell black and brown people who they are. When the travel flows are reversed, the voices from the South are usually personal testimonials about poverty and suffering back home. Roy, however, is occupying a very different cultural space. She is, in her words, a black woman from India speaking about America to an American audience. Elsewhere, Roy has claimed this right because the United States is not merely a country, but the hub of empire. May I clarify that I speak as a subject of the U.S. empire? I speak as a slave who presumes to criticize her king. It is Roy's deep understanding of the mechanics of power that is her greatest contribution to movements against neoliberalism and war. Again and again, Arundhati has used her gifts as a novelist and trained architect to help us visualize the invisible architecture of modern empire. Crucially, she has helped us to understand how powerful interests that seem to be in conflict, the nation-state versus corporate globalization, religious fundamentalism versus U.S. capitalism, actually serve to strengthen and protect each other, and join forces to lay waste to democracy. In this book, Roy describes the Indian elite's embrace of corporate globalization and the rise of Hindu nationalism as a pincer action. With one hand, they're selling the country out to multinationals. With the other, they're orchestrating this howling cultural nationalism. According to Roy, all imperial projects, whether political, economic, or religious, share a logic, the logic of bigness. In her essay, The Greater Common Good, she writes of big bombs, big dams, big ideologies, big contradictions, big countries, big wars, big heroes, big mistakes. It is this tyranny of scale, Roy tells Barsamian here,